Hey guys, and welcome to another free edition of The Peep Show. I'm Rachel Young, and if you've been to BigCheeseMarketing.com recently, you've probably noticed some changes. Change number one being that there's no link to the Gentleman's Club on Big Cheese Marketing anymore. And the reason I did that is because I didn't get the response that I was looking for. And so there are better things that I can create with my time than to try and push something that it was obvious that not as many people responded to as I had hoped. So I went ahead and took it down. If you had signed up for the Gentleman's Club, your money's been refunded, and I am working on a new membership site that will still allow you guys to be able to log on, get great content. It just will be delivered in a different style. And, there's a reason for that. German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche talked about how when you go through hardships, that you shouldn't allow any type of outside influence to interfere, to affect, to change the difficulty that you're going through. And that meant alcohol. Not to allow yourself to be under the influence of alcohol, because that would in some way inhibit or alter the experience that you were currently going through. He also said the same thing about church, that a lot of folks, whenever they get into trouble, will turn to church, will turn to God as a way of making themselves feel better, and therefore their belief in God would somehow change the difficulty that they were having, the experience that they were going through, and therefore make it not as hard. And Nietzsche's reasoning for this was that if you've got something to fall back on when you're going through the hard times, that you don't appreciate the success that you have when it comes. And whether you agree with him or not about the whole church thing, the idea is fantastic. Are you kidding me? It's like climbing a mountain. You don't go to the base of the mountain and say, okay, I'm going to climb this mountain. Where's the sidewalk? Right? You actually have to get the bumps and the bruises and the scrapes, and you've got to try, and you've got to, you may fall down, but you got to keep getting up. And that's the whole point. That's the whole point of life, is that it's one hardship after another with successes in there as well. And you can't appreciate one without the other. I'll give you a prime example. I was watching a movie with my kids the other day, and it was called Meet the Robinsons. And I had been putting off, the movie came out, I don't know, forever ago. And I'd been putting it off because it really didn't seem like that interesting of a movie to me. I knew it was about a boy who was an inventor, and somehow he wound up going to the future in a time machine and blah, blah, blah. It sounded like it had been done before. But I'm sitting there watching it with my kids. And at one point, the boy is in the future, and the family that he's with, their toaster breaks. And so he volunteers to fix it. And it breaks again. And the family stands there for a second very solemnly, and then erupts in laughter and cheer and celebration. And they said, congratulations. The mom says, congratulations, you failed. And he's like, yeah, I know. Why are you cheering? And she's like, you can't enjoy your successes if you haven't had to go through failures and learn something from each one of your failures. So my point to you guys today, the thing that I want you guys to see between talking about, German philosophy as well as a Walt Disney movie, is that rather than sit there and beat a dead horse, I recognized a failure for what it was and moved on, right? I just knocked it off, move on. And that's what I want you guys to look at, is there's some part of your business that you are actually forcing to make happen, that you are unwilling to give up on because of the amount of time that you've put into it or the amount of money that you've spent, and it's just not working. But you're unwilling to give it up. That's what you got to do. You got to brush it off and keep going. Whenever somebody tells you that that you can't do something, that same energy that you give to doing it anyway, I know you because that's why you watch me, because we're so much alike. That same energy that you give to doing it anyway, you got to give the same energy to the stuff that you've tried and it's failed. Recognize that it's failed and move on. You know, devote your time to creating something better. What did you learn from that experience? What did you learn from failing? You know, and so in the end, you can call me Mrs. Robinson, you know, congratulations for failing. What did you learn? How are you going to do it differently next time? What else can you do to be successful in life? So whether you like the Nietzsche form of encouragement where you just got to go through the hardships regardless of what happens and plow through it, or you celebrate your failures, guys, whatever you do, don't stop. You know, recognize the failure, get it out of the way and move on. And for heaven's sakes, you gotta let me know about it. You guys know that I'm always listening. I am working on some new stuff and I will keep you updated as it comes about. Until then, you can always email me at ryoung@bigcheesemarketing.com. Let me know of your successes and your failures. I'm always listening and I look forward to hearing from you soon.